Armenian. It's a joke, right? Yeah, didn't know it was a language. So when I first got my mission call, I looked up and I was like, when I was like waiting for it, I was like, oh, like I would love to go to Asia or something, or like learn Russian, but I don't want to learn a new alphabet. Like I don't want to deal with like characters or anything. And so I have no clue what Armenian is. I looked it up on the internet, the alphabet, and I denied myself until I went to the MTC that that's really what I was learning. So when I got to the MTC, first day, your teachers will just talk to you in Armenian, and they'll probably start with the alphabet. A, B, G, D, Y, Z, and just keep going. And it took me 3 weeks to get the alphabet down. That was really hard for me. And it's different. How they write it is different than how you read it. The letters are kind of shaped differently, and depending on the type, like not the format, what's that called? The font of it, it can look completely different, a letter. So that was interesting. It was good. But I learned for myself that being diligent in learning Armenian was so hard for me. And there was a point in my mission, actually in the MTC, that I became bitter. And I was praying to Heavenly Father, and I said, you know, if you really wanted me to preach people, you would have called me English speaking. I would have been out here weeks ago, and I would have been able to like talk and help your children better. But now I'm learning this language that's really hard for me. And I remember distinctly, there's not a lot of times that I have impressions that are verbal sayings to me. And I just remember I said, Sister Bill, I called you on a mission to Armenian to speak Armenian, and that's what you're going to do. These people need to hear from you. And that was a really humbling experience to realize that people were depending on me and upon my language skills, which I want to note that you do not have to have perfect Armenian for the Spirit to reside and teach through you. I know for a fact that Heavenly Father did not send me to Armenia to perfect Armenian. It's a really hard language for me, and it's a hard language for anyone, but that doesn't make it impossible, and that doesn't make it impossible to do the Lord's work there. Never give up. How do I say this? Once I felt peaceful about my language skills, and that, I was studying as hard as I could. I was learning the way that I needed to learn. That's really when my language improved the most, when I was concerned about the language, but not when I was focused on it. And I was focused on my investigators and teaching them and made sure they felt the Spirit, and that was the most important thing that I found in my life. And I think that's a good tool to be able to learn that balance of when we have done all we can do, and when the Lord makes up the rest. And I promise you that I did not learn Armenian. The Lord blessed me with that. And that was something that took me a really long time, and that I struggled with, because I had companions who were younger than me and they spoke better than me, and that was really tough. But Armenian is hard, doable, hard, but it is a beautiful language as well. You will never be able to express yourself. I'm having a hard time expressing myself in English because of the way I've learned how beautiful the Armenian language is. So you will just do great. You're just going to do awesome.